Hello everyone, I'm Moksh and today I'm going to cover the complete walkthrough of what Figr AI is and how it works. Most AI design tools are built for 0 to 1. You type a prompt and you get a screen. There is some textual context with markdown files, and that is fine if you're starting from nothing, but it kind of breaks the second you're working inside a real product. Most of us work inside a product that already exists, it already has some users. And it has flows, design system, edge cases, years of decisions, and a few things only one senior PM or a designer remembers, and just text cannot cover that context. But Figr does. Figr is an AI product designer that understands your product. This is not prompt to UI, it starts with your product context and it reasons through the UX and then gives you Figma-ready designs with all the auto layout, components, and tokens attached. Let me show you the whole thing. The first thing that we're going to start off with is context spots. When you go back here in the section, you will see context spot. Now I can create a new context spot, and this is where everything kind of comes together. Your screens, flows, documentation, analytics, product walkthroughs with screen recordings and code context. Here we'll start off with an example of cal.com. Cal.com has the kind of complexity most SaaS products have. The booking flows, availabilities, integrations, settings. So now I'll upload a lot of different type of files that we were able to get off the internet. So we have uploaded a lot of data here, and now the easiest way to set up the product context is actually just recording your screen and giving a walkthrough of the cal.com, the way that you would explain it to a coworker. So I'll just go here and show your product, and I will start a screen recording, and Figr will be able to understand everything. Figr watches the video frame by frame, your clicks, your mouse movements, and builds an understanding of how the product actually works. Not a folder of files and textual context, but it builds a complete context graph around your product. Now with all of these sources, my context spot is ready. So whenever I do a query, it will refer to all of the data, including the screen recordings, images, PDFs, and analytics that we have added in here. So this is how it uses all the context that we uploaded earlier on and use it as a context for solving UX problems. Now I'll connect the design system. So this is important because Figr should not create some random AI looking UI. It should design in your product's language and components, typographies, colors, and everything else. So you can set up the design language in many ways. We have a dedicated design system agent. Again, I will take the example of cal.com, and here I will just name it cal.com ds and continue with it. Here I will connect our Figma plugin. You can just open the Figma plugin here. Our plugin, Figr AI Figma Sync. We also have multiple plugins, so don't confuse with other plugins. Once I click it and run it, you will see that it is connected. It might ask you to log in first using Figr, but once it is connected, you will see that Figma is connected. Now it has access to the complete file inside Figma. So it is extracting all the tokens, all the collections inside it, and all the components inside it as well. So now it has built the complete design tokens. You will be able to see that it has all the tokens. It has different colors attached here, the core colors, the border colors, all the tokens that were defined inside Figma. And it has also defined the usage guidelines. So for example, in error state, it has attached it to a core color. You can also change the color and make some tweaks inside Figr itself and change the variable names. Along with the text values, with border radiuses, it has also built different components, and it has built all the files along with it has tried to identify what are the variants, what are the structure of the component, and what are the different use cases of it. Now in this agent, a good practice to get your complete design system would be to go to Figma and just open up the plugin again Now this is a separate file. Here we actually have not just the component but the whole pattern structures. So I won't select anything. I will just give access to the complete file, and I will ask Figr to build the guidelines and understand when and where a component is used and document it. You can also select multiple screens, like 20-30 screens, and just give them the core screens so that Figr is able to identify when and where these tokens and components are used the most. Building the right usage guideline is very important so that the AI understands when and where everything is being used. You will see that it is scouting for each and every relevant Figma page, can actually map tokens to actual screen and component usage. It will ask you some questions in between so that you can answer it, and it gets a better understanding of your Figma file. So now our design system is set up to a good extent. We have all the tokens, the usage guidelines are there for most of the tokens, and rather than just one markdown file, we have each markdown file dedicated to each component, along with guides on how to use colors, layouts, typographies, as well as each and every token. Now you do a new chat. You can select the design system and the context part. So I can just select cal.com. I can also select cal.com design system. Alright, so now this context is loaded up. Now whenever I do a chat, this context will be referred to along with the design system. Alright, so from here I can ask Figr to do a review of the UX, especially the visual review of the time setup process. So Figr will ask me some questions on exactly what type of review you want, but you can review any particular UX if it's information overloaded or you want to improve conversions. So I'll ask to do a review of the whole flow, and I'll just ask for power user managing multiple schedules. And I'll say we'll want to make it faster to set up our timings. Now it has done a visual review. For each screen, it has annotated what all issues are there. And for example, in screen 1, it has said that here there is a dense text summary where it can be shown in a sort of a visual format in a weekly strip. It can point out frictions in the UX, missing states, unclear hierarchy, even accessibility issues, and places where the flow might break. So I'll ask Figr now to document everything out and give me variations on how we can solve it. So it has built a document, and I can just go to the document and edit it, and it has told us the findings, the core problems, and has given us some directions, but I want to see the directions. So let's get to some wireframes. Now it is building the wireframes out, so I can check what all it is building. You can capture a web page from an existing app and use that HTML and the complete code, cleaned up code, and use it as a reference and build on top of it. And I will click on use extension, and I'll just go to the cal.com screen, and I'll just capture this screen. Okay, once the capture is complete, you can just copy it and go back to Figr and just paste it here. Now everything on the canvas will be taken by default. I will just give this example and say that I like direction 3 and 2, and let's build a prototype from this. So we can add on top of the existing design rather than changing it a lot. Alright, so now it has built the prototype out. I can just close the chat for now and start interacting with it. Okay, so it has added a week at a glance, and I can split the day. I can also annotate a particular artifact, any of the attachments or something that Figr has created. It will have a much deeper understanding of your particular attachments. Now I can ask Figr to build all the edge cases and user flows that this particular flow can have, and then we will build that out as well. You can easily manage your canvas. So for example, if you want to organize your attachments in one place, so you can just add a section, and you can very easily collaborate and invite your team members into this. As your team members come in, you can very quickly do a comment on a particular part of any artifact, or you can also add sticky notes. So for example, this is the original design. Parallelly, the best thing that I like about the canvas is that you can also just duplicate this node and you can start creating a different variation in it. So now you have two different versions, and I can just quickly ask Figr to, let's say, make a different variation in it, and it will build on top of this. Alright, so now I think it is done with the flows. So it has built a lot of different edge cases and maps here, and I can also edit these by just going full screen and make any changes to it. So I can just select and edit a particular part of the flow that I don't like. But it has built the date override flow, it has built the new schedule picker flow, and parallelly it has also made changes to the design. So I'll just quickly go inside it, and you will see that here it is showing version 2. So the whole prototype is now built out. Another thing that I like about Figr is how you can quickly just select and edit and do multiple changes in one go. So I'll just select and edit a particular part. Let's say, when I click here, I want to rename, and this change will pile up here. Then I'll also say show pop-up on launch shooter, and let's add some hover effects here. We have added 3 changes, and I can continue to add more and more changes, and in just one query it will solve all of them. Another version is created, and I can see that the hover effect is built out. The launch troubleshooter is working, and when I click here, I can rename quickly just to user, save it. Once the output is ready, I can take this to Figma, and it's quite simple. I can just export it to Figma. I can use the same plugin that we used to import from Figma, and I just have to get it opened up inside a page. And if I go back and I click on export to Figma, you will see that the tokens as well as auto layout is very well attached, and I can just keep on bringing all the screens from Figr to Figma. So yeah, that's the workflow. Not prompt UI, not just a generic prototype, but something that actually understands your existing product and helps you build on top of it. It is a complete set of artifacts for product managers and designers. We get the PRD or the documentation, the product spec, a high fidelity prototype that you can take it to Figma, as well as all the edge cases, the test cases, and different type of flows mapped out, along with a visual review that we did in the beginning. Figr helps product teams design inside existing products with context, design system, and UX thinking intact. We'll go deeper into each and every workflow in the future videos. Thank you.